Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. I hope, right off the top that you enjoyed Monday Morning News episode
It was fun.
with our
That was real fun.
nominees. Yeah, and stay tuned for next week's, actual award winners. But if you skipped over Monday, that was a real special one. We went over our nominees for, our annual award show. So that was a good time. But in, today's episode, we're talking about Townscaper VR, a game that exists on what seems like every platform possible, from Xbox to PlayStation to PC to phone. It's everywhere.
I have it for the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I've played it before.
That was the first thing. There's oftentimes we'll send each other a bunch of potential, game candidates for review. And when that one popped up, you're like, oh, I've played that one on Xbox. Let's do that one. Let's see how it holds up in VR. And, I was on their subreddit for this game. I don't know if it's officially run by the developers. It's like a fan subreddit, but it's got a decent following. And there's a lot of people who play, the other versions of the game who say that they felt like VR was a much better medium for this game than all of the other consoles.
No, I'd agree with that.
Versions.
Because when I'd play it on the Xbox, I would even tell my fiance, I'd be like, this is made for VR more than flat screen for me.
Mm-hmm. And it's very clear in the description of the game.
It is not a game.
Yeah, I say the description of the game, the description of the app, the experience.
It is not a game.
There's no purpose.
Nope.
They say it's not a game.
Nope.
It's just a building sim. But, before we get too carried away in what the game is, there's something important I probably shouldn't skip over with this.
Yeah, who made it?
Yeah, who made it, who published it, the rating, the cost, the nitty gritty of it all. So it's developed by Oscar. I'm going to 100% pronounce this wrong because he's got some sort of accent above, or some, one of the accent symbols above one of the letters in his last name that just makes me know I'm not going to pronounce it right. But it's Oscar Stalberg is how I understand it as the developer. And then it's published by Raw Fury AB, which, right off the top, if this is made by one guy, although it's a very simple, kind of like almost meditative, relaxing game, props that it's one guy. But nonetheless, it also came out October 6th, 2022 on the Metaquest with a 4.6 overall rating. And of that, 67 total ratings and 40 written reviews. And it's also $9.99 on the official Quest store.
Correct.
Yep. So didn't skip over anything this time.
Nope.
Almost did. Almost skipped over
you
all
get
of
all
it.
You get all the guts there.
All the guts of it. So yeah, if this is one guy, I mean, it's just like, I don't know, any game that's made by one person, I have so much respect for. That's no easy task.
Well, yeah, because it's not just the programming. Now you're doing all the artwork and all that graphical stuff. I mean,
what did surprise me about
probably like 4 different shoes one person has to do,
Oh, 100%. What surprised me about this, the details with the ratings and the reviews, there's not that much ratings for an official Quest release, having been out a couple months. 67, that's kind of a little bit mild. That's a little bit more app labby.
I mean, it's not for everyone, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally, you said you build houses and shit, and that's literally all you do.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else to do. There's no fighting mechanic. There's no enter the scene and walk around it, which I do think would be a great touch for the, if you built a giant city and stuff. Not a ton of, like, we'll say options for controls, more or less. But I will say the interface is a lot better in VR than it is on flat screen.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the first things that you had said, and that might go back to it kind of being meant for VR. And this kind of, something I talk about a lot, especially with strategy games or any type of, I know this isn't a strategy game, but it has
this is a casual experience.
Yes, that's the genre on the store, but it has that top-down kind of like point and click, drag, zoom in,
rotate.
That you see in a lot of strategy games that I actually think works great in VR. It's like a real-time strategy game. You're taking away all the limitations that flat screen had, and I think that carries over to a game like this that's about building. And the way it works is like, so when you first start the game, you load in for the first time, no tutorial, nothing like that.
Don't need it.
Nope, you're going right in, and you have tiles in front of you, and they're not all shaped like block squares. There's some that are going to be skinnier, longer. There's some like curved one. There's pointy ones, like almost like, I guess they look like teeth, you know, at the edge.
edges. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of different shapes with them, and you have a finite amount of building space. And the way it works is like if you were to lay down, let's say, fill in all of the tile floors first, that's going to limit how high you can build. Same way as if like you started and you just built a building super high up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's now going to limit how wide you can build. So those things are correlated. You know, there's a, you know, I found that out the hard way. But then, so you have all these tiles, and when you first place something, you'll see like more tiles appear to its, you know, direction that you placed it. So it's like, it's not a set tile platform at first, you know, until you build a certain amount. And then you look at your hands and you have these two like color wheels almost, where you can go through, you know, they probably have like 10 different colors, but a lot of them are very similar shades of each other. And then from there you start building. You can either build directly on the ground, like I was mentioning before, like if you wanted to lay out your whole foundation, you can build like a ground level, you can build a first floor, a second floor, a third floor, you know, all the way up. You can build like lighthouses, you can build, you know, super tall up. You can build one building houses. You can build, you know, what would look more like an apartment complex almost. You can build large buildings. And then that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean, I get the feeling it's done for more of a relaxation type experience than
100%.
Because you're definitely not going to get adrenaline. I mean, it's weird because I'll find myself playing it and I'll, you know, I'm just like screwing around, but then I'll do something and I'll get like this little creative idea.
Some inspiration.
And it's cool too, because if you build like an outside, we'll say wall or row of houses, then it'll auto fill in the inside with like a nice courtyard or some shit.
Yeah, but a little like almost garden area. But yeah, your whole,
which you're going to build in anyway. So at the end of the day, it's going to be gone. But
yeah, if all of your I think the exact, you know, conditions for it is all of your buildings on the outside perimeter to be touching.
Correct.
And then it'll fill in a nice luscious green garden that
with little stone walls all around it,
and some animals like some butterflies and some like, you know, miscellaneous things. There's no humans in this game. At no point does your city become populated with like a living population, which was actually something I was really hoping that I would eventually see. Like little, they could be little, you know.
You mentioned it when we were in party chat, and I'm like, oh no, there'll be no people.
Yep, but that would be really cool. I mean, there's no real progression.
No,
they definitely don't teach you anything like about the garden. You discovered that
just by doing it.
Yeah, on party chat, it was pretty cool. It's not something that you'd figured out on your time in the flat screen version yet. But it's more like conditional things like that, you know? Or then if if you're building super tall up, you know, if you get to almost the top and then your last like 2 or 3 tiles, you just build one up instead of 3 or 2 across, just one, it'll turn into a lighthouse.
A little steeple.
Yeah, you'll figure out how to, you know, build windows on windows and doors, and then I'll make like little patio areas. Yeah.
Or the clothesline. You can run clothesline from. I mean, you don't run it; it'll auto.
It'll auto do this. All this stuff auto happens when the conditions.
I love
are
zooming
met.
in close, and that's what made me think like it would be so cool to be able to walk around, like if you go to first person. Walk around your city.
Oh, dude, I think that would be a game changer.
Or fish off of one of the piers.
Invite a friend over and you can both walk over into it. Tell me that wouldn't be awesome walking around your little garden area. You know, you'll see like pigeons on roofs if you build a proper roof.
Yep, big cluster of them.
And sometimes it can be a little difficult trying to build a roof, and then you might accidentally build like a rooftop flat hangout area almost, which I'll put those as well.
Those are good for upper walkways too.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's really just a complete up to your imagination game. You have a finite amount of block space. Finite amount of build space. How high or how wide you go is really dependent on how much the other one's been done, and just go crazy. Do you want to make a bunch of like small villages, you know, like really big cathedrals? What do you want to do? It's up to you.
I mean, you have no control over
change the colors of the
what
building.
the houses, you know, potentially look like other than color. But first thing I do is turn on grid mode.
Oh, that's
so
a
that
good
I can
point.
see the individual grids.
I use that so much that I forgot it's not on at first. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you do that by going in the settings on your left
Yep.
controller.
You can go grid mode, and then you can also take the color away. And
Yeah,
just
which
be the white,
which I never
almost
do.
like a developer mode looking type thing.
It looks like a 3D model.
Yeah.
You know, like
A
something
white one.
ready to get uploaded into a program.
It's a neat experience, but I definitely, I would caution anybody that, look, it's not a game. They don't profess it to be a game.
They're actually very explicitly clear that it's not a game.
Yeah, I mean, it says it right in the description.
Mhm.
So it's like, I've called it a game myself.
Just out of habit,
Yeah.
but it's relaxation app,
It's
I
just
guess.
relax, build,
Creative app.
build with no consequence. There's no earthquakes, tornadoes, anything like that. Nothing's going to come ruin. No big.
There's no linear story. There's no progression. There's no tutorial.
You literally go in there and just
figure it out.
Start clicking, and you'll figure it out.
And again, yeah, they don't teach you these conditional things like we mentioned,
But literally, they don't need to.
And
you just press the button, you'd be like, oh shit, a house.
Yeah, just keep building. And
what happens if I click on it? What's real cool is you like building way up and then going into the middle of the area and taking sections out, and then building apartments off the other side of it, coming across, because it'll build the big wooden stilts all the way down to the.
You can also do
water.
like a separate island city too. Like you can have your main, and then like if it's still in the grid area, you have like a little floating city.
You can get pretty freaking creative.
And there's certain more conditional things that will happen if you match up buildings that are the same color. Like if you build two taller buildings that are the same color and they're close together, then you'll either get clotheslines, or also sometimes flags. And it'll go from building to building.
Cool to have little like neighborhood gang wars. All the blue buildings and red buildings.
Well, I feel like the game, as much as it's not a game, and they're not going for that like game vibe of it, as much as just a relaxation thing. I think if a couple minor game things were added, like you mentioned, walking around in first person in VR of your city would be the shit. Maybe even be able to invite your friend to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say visit someone else.
That would be a game changer, absolute game changer
in your meta avatar.
Absolute game changer for this game. Because tell me, just right off the top, that would inspire me to make crazy shit just to show. Then if they also added some humans, a whole bunch of stuff like that, I think that it would take this to the next level. But at the same time, they don't really even go for the game angle. I just think it would make it like an incredible app at that point.
I mean, it's been around for a while. So, I mean, not on Oculus, but just in general. So I'd love to talk to Oscar and just figure out like what the story behind even making it was. Because to me, it just seems like it was done for like an anti-stress type of, situation. If you just want to have an experience that's not going to cause your blood to flow too much, or, just whatever. It's just a chill kick back and that was your knee, man.
Oh yeah, that wasn't
kick back. And
speaking of relaxation apps, that wasn't a relaxation moment. Bang.
But you get what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, if I play it on Xbox, it's going to be at night. It's not going to keep me awake for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a good little like scratch the creative side of your brain too.
I mean, I do wish there was more to it, and whatever the case. Our New Year's podcast, Pooch, is
you can hear
indecisive today.
I don't know if the mic's picking it up, but he's got his
fingernails.
Yeah, you hear those claws on the hardwood pretty good. Clink, 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 clink.
No, I was really, really glad to see it come over to VR. I felt wholeheartedly when I played it on Xbox that it should be on VR, and there's a handful of games that I play that I'm like, why is this not on VR? It just looks like it was made for it.
Yeah, I'll say, painting apps, meditation apps, point and click apps, building apps, they all work better in VR than flat screen by far.
All right. So now, since we've like torn into his hard work here, now we can be selfish and say, hey, what would I personally like to see in it that would get me to keep coming back to it?
Oh, I already listed mine. I was a little selfish right off the top.
No, I agree with you. The
gameplay,
no holds bar. Being able to walk around your thing, and maybe even little NPC people doing their thing.
If at one point in your building, if you met a certain condition and you you started to see your city populated with people, for some reason about that, it would keep me more inspired.
I love when games like that also you auto update your buildings. You'll see them go from, like a little shack to now like a house and then a bigger house and then like a mansion, almost like cities.
I think that this is a game that can sneak up on you with.
It's not a game.
Sorry, that this.
Stop calling his
All right. I think that
casual experience again.
I think that Townscaper can sneak up on you too if you're thinking that I'll spend 5 minutes in this, and then an hour might go by.
Yeah.
Just because you started, I never know what I'm going to build when I start. It comes to me as maybe I have an idea like, I'll start with building this ground area, but
You're absolutely correct.
It comes to me as I build, so it's like you might think I'm not going to do anything. But then you get inspired.
Or you're going to think, this is what I'm going to do, and this is not at all what you're going to do.
100%.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll make a mistake, and I'll realize, like, that's a brilliant mistake, and I'll build off it.
I will say, too, the game auto-saves. So you can delete your parts.
Mm-hmm.
You can. But
what's cool about it, you have no guilt starting over either.
No.
Like starting a new one.
Well, if you can hit new game, let's say you hit new game. Oh, no, now I want to go back to mine. But I didn't save it. Like I said, auto save. So you hit load. All of your past worlds that you've built on are auto saved in there. So you can always go back for reference. You don't have to deal with, I forgot to save before I shut it off, anything like that. Guilt free, hit new game, and your past one's going to be, forever there.
It's in the trunk.
No, really interesting concept. I think, for people who like these type of casual relaxation ones, it's this one hits all of the boxes. I just think that it's niche. I don't think that everybody's going to enjoy it.
That's why I said right at the beginning, like it's not for everybody.
But
only because some people will get upset at the fact that it's not necessarily a game, and you're not.
There's nothing, no progression. People like
nothing
to,
to do
handheld.
other than what you're doing, and that definitely isn't for everybody.
No, but look, if you typically don't like sandbox things, or if you need a story or missions or progression, you're linear things, you're not going to like it. But I think that there's a lot of people who like these type of.
Oh yeah, if you got a creative mind and you want to get lost into your world, it can start with the first click, and then you can start creating your story as you're building. I mean, I've done it. Talk little voices and shit. And villages,
because we're kids. We're
goofs,
little kids at heart.
We're
so it's very easy for me to role play or create a story. 100%. That's why if there's people in there, oh man, you blew my mind with walking around in first person with that. That would be amazing.
I think the whole concept would be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, upload worlds to like a public library so you can like see other people's worlds. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, but again, it's
like you said, do it with the meta avatars.
I don't look around sophisticated. I don't see it changing on any other platforms, and it is what it is, and it keeps showing up in other platforms, and it is what it is, and now it's in VR, and it friggin' is what it is. It's like, so I don't know if
very reasonable.
I don't know if Oscar's even got a. Like, what do you mean? What am I going to do with it?
This is what I don't think that
A, don't insult me, and B, I'm done. I mean, I'm just bringing it to more people to experience.
I think that what you just said right there is the more likely reality of it than him adding any more content. I don't think it's like that.
Anything else is like, that's not why I didn't build it to have people. And
it's not a game.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a casual, relaxing, just, I personally think it's best played and like how I play it on flat screen, which is like, you don't have to play it every day, but certainly you'll see it and you'll be like, oh shit. And you'll jump in there for 15, 20 minutes, no problem. And then jump back in.
Like I said, maybe accidentally longer just because you get that little inspiration.
I mean, yeah, if you're going full game board size, I'll say, or casual experience size. Yeah.
So do you like to build? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No. I was going to say, though, do you like to build wider or taller, like, setups?
It's all about the girth, man.
You like
what kind of question are you asking?
You like the wide play area?
No, it doesn't really matter, because sometimes I'll start in the middle of, like, the grid and be like, all right, I'm going to start kind of building up. And it's real easy. I mean, the button controls in this thing are ridiculously easy, and you can undo shit if you want. But lately, I've been trying to do like big perimeter things, so I'm limited on the height.
Yeah, I remember one time you went and you laid your whole foundation.
Mm-hmm.
and that inspired me. And
Something
then
I never did in flat screen.
Mm-hmm.
I'd fall asleep. There's no freaking way.
Yeah, before you had done that, I was only building, like I would go in and I would just build super straight up, super tall, and I'd always be like, wow, I don't really have the most like build area, but I can build tall as shit, you know? And then I did what you were doing, laying all the foundation.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I can't build high at all. It's like, now I get how it works.
Yep.
I was like,
and you can
guys,
kind of see the edges move inward too as you keep building.
Mhm.
You're like, all right.
now I get it.
But I built a really nice one the other day. It was legit like a cool building in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had like these pillars coming off of it, like perspectively, probably like 20, 30 feet away. These like big pillars where I had people living on the inside of these column.
In your
pillars.
mind, you had people living. Unfortunately, they can't.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like if you
give
have
them
a
a
good
nice patio with some
imagination,
flowers.
that just shows you the level I took it. Because in my world, there were people living in these little buildings and chilling on their patios. And then I connected one of them across because I wanted them to be able to like hang out. And
I love the patio, dude. I give people patios in the silliest spots. Well, build super high up.
And I feel bad for the clothesline people because I'm like, am I essentially building a ghetto? You know, where it's like, it's going to be all these tight.
No windows.
Yeah, exactly.
No nice patios.
One of those Brazilian.
The favelas.
Yeah. That's kind of what that's the exact feel I got with one of the things I built. I'm like, ooh, this would be crazy if it came to life, you know?
It'd be nice if you could build the patios with the flags and clothesline, but I feel like building the patios there would disrupt the conditions.
For the clotheslines.
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's you know, play it how you want to get out of it what you want. If I'm going to play it, I'm going to, and I certainly don't get into any characters on flat screen, but again, it's like, it's not a bad time.
Yeah. And one more thing to the gardens part, because we mentioned if you connect all the outside perimeter, it becomes like a garden. And then you'll see like the garden's kind of walled everywhere. It's almost in like blocked cells.
Like a grid?
Yeah, like a grid. But then if you take and build one house, boom, just somewhere along there, it'll then add more grids. So you can get, I was doing it the other day.
Very detailed.
Yeah, I had like just placing single houses everywhere, and my garden was getting grid lined out like crazy.
And you can build little individual
animals
islands.
everywhere, you know, little.
I give
birds
credit.
And
I mean, like I said, I definitely played it on the Xbox, so I was curious.
Yeah, no, it was interesting concept. I had seen some positive things. Like I said, not the most amount of reviews, but I don't think if it's a game that you would enjoy based off the description of the game, you wouldn't buy it. They did a great job being transparent with what the game is. And I think the only people who are going to read that description and buy are people who like that niche. And for them, now they have a great...
I think a lot were people who played it on other platforms.
Probably. But
just looking at the amount of reviews.
And the way they're worded and stuff like that. But it's just a great nonlinear, meditation.
You know who
it's not even a meditation,
you know who
but
it's honestly perfect
app.
for? And you always see parents asking, like, what's something my kid can play that, you know, they don't have to worry about issues or vocabulary, new words, learning new words. Mommy, what does I fucking suck mean? You know?
This would be a cool one to show.
No, I mean, it's just you and your world. There's nobody talking to you. It's like, so it'd be kind of neat from a kid's perspective.
It'd also be good to show your older relatives. I feel like
I thought of that too. Like, would this be good for like, dementia and Alzheimer's?
Or not just older relatives in general. It doesn't require a lot of movement and it's cool. Like,
I don't know, old people today are gangsters. So I think they'd get bored with this shit.
Getting STDs and nursing
Yeah, I was
homes
gonna say
stuff,
I think the last I heard, the STDs
Partying.
and drug usage is through the roof with retirees. Just
going out with a bang,
coking and pilling and smoking and screwing. They're going fucking nuts, dude. So I don't know if old people are old people who are losing it.
They might want thrill of the fight,
Because a lot of like recovering patients and stuff,
No, this is just
you can sit it in you play it sitting down.
Yeah,
It's
it's just a good relaxation one. It's a good, like I said, it's the creative side of your brain. You get some inspiration as you build. I've never known
play with the colors.
Yeah,
make your little worlds.
Selfishly, I wish they had the walk around, and I wish especially that they had show your friends. Besides taking a picture and sending it to them, I wish I could check out other people's worlds.
I mean, selfishly, I wish it had all that plus the ability to
have people in there.
Have animated people, and different buildings. We'll say,
But then
that
it's
would
more
come
of
on
a
progressively.
then
down
it's
the
more
road.
of like a god sim,
Yeah, I'm
like a
turning it
building
into
sim.
a
To a
cross
game.
between little cities
Yeah.
and friggin' deism.
But that's not what the game is. The game is
No.
just a
I know. I'm just being an asshole.
just a casual building app.
I'm just being me, okay?
Being selfish
just
over
being
here.
me.
No, but it for $9.99 though. I mean,
It's not a bad price.
No,
I will say on Xbox, the last time I checked, it was $3.99. It might have been on sale, but even if it was on sale, I mean, 50%, it would still be $8. So, I would have loved to have seen a $4.99 price for it.
Yeah,
but $9.99. I mean, we've said it before. It's like we bought skins for $9.99 from Pop One. So if you're selling anything $10 or
well, again, if you just need that linear experience of a story and everything, stay away from it. But if you like just non-linear, almost sandboxy, just build creative stuff, this one's like Legos meets architecture.
Yeah, see, and that's what got me hyping about the Legos again, was like, it can be done. I mean, Jesus, just pick up the piece and follow whatever, instruction manual they're giving you, or none. So no, you're only limited to your own creativity. If you're not creative, don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a creative side, what do you got?
I was gonna say it looks like it's $6 on Steam.
Okay, so $6 on Steam. I saw it a couple of nights ago for $3.99, which is probably on sale. That makes sense.
It's on sale on Steam as well, but I was looking at the base price. It's $6 on Nintendo Switch as well,
even on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, hats off to Oscar, dude. Very few people pull off every platform.
$5 on iOS.
Yeah,
I mean, sorry, on Android.
Okay.
So definitely is.
So I mean, the $4.99 was more. I would say probably the fairest.
$5 on Xbox.
Yeah.
You were close.
Okay.
So it definitely is most expensive in VR, but in fairness, that one probably took him the most new skills to learn too,
Dude's talented, dude.
Yeah.
He's pulling off every platform.
If
And
it really is one guy.
I'm sure everyone has their own little demands and
here,
specifications. So,
did you have any bugs?
no functionality. My score is actually very, very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I even built from underneath the map, looking upwards to build my foundation, and was pretty blown away that I could.
Yeah. No.
Instead of being forced to look top down on it or anything.
But I think we just about covered,
Yeah,
what's
I
going
mean,
on in the game. Do you want to go to our final
not a
thoughts?
game.
Sorry. Damn, it's so force of habit, man. I bet you if we were talking about a movie, I would still
I would
say
have
it.
loved to have had you do a shot every time you said it was a game.
I wouldn't.
No, you'd be
I'd
dead
be
right
face
now.
planted.
Right now, you'd be dead.
Be done. KO'd.
And then sadly, I'd have to finish alone as you were drooling here.
I'd go, fuck.
Oh, that's funny. I love you, man.
Shots can't even make me do a cocktail every time. Something nice,
No, it's too much liquid.
Too much. Yeah, we pee in it. We got juice. We have coffee.
Do some Greek ooze.
We have water. People don't know about the fresh squeezed juice we do. It's a kidney cleanser. It'll liver cleanse. It'll freaking pee like I've never peed before after drinking one of those.
It's
Concerning almost.
It's a nice treat when we get the juice for sure.
Yeah, it's very good. That's compliments of podcast manager Kelly over there, staff over there. So I think we just about covered everything. With the game. You want to go to our final thoughts and review on this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So like I always harass people, right before this part, first we're going to take a little ad break, a little message from the sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
But also if you've been enjoying this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate us 5 stars on whatever podcast platform you might listen on, Apple, Spotify, Podcast Addict, whatever the kids listen to podcasts on. And also, like I always say, go join our Discord and our subreddit. You can find those links in our show notes, the episode description. So you go, oh, what's this episode about? Hit show info, scroll to the bottom. You'll see our Discord link and our subreddit. Our subreddit's bigger, but our Discord gets more activity. Discord's a party. Definitely go join that. That's a lot of fun. Even if you don't know Discord, we'll teach you. It's a good time. Other than that, we'll be back with you in just a moment. This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in Metaquest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The Metaquest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code Ruff Talk VR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered.
Hey everyone, welcome to Fresh Ball Fall. It's the season of pumpkin spice and making sure your crotch looks nice. That means sipping cider in the fall breeze and using Manscaped products to trim your balls with ease. That's right, today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, a company here to make sure that your foliage isn't the only thing shedding its excess leaves. Heck, even Mother Nature knows it's time to lose the excess clutter for fall. Join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR. Whether you're brand new or already with us at Manscaped, you could use the crown jewel of care for your family jewels, the Platinum Package 4.0. With this glorious package, you can align your entire hygiene routine all in one swoop. Inside, the 10 Platinum Package is everything you know and love about the Performance Package, plus some shower goodies included to elevate your grooming game to platinum. The Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer and Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer feature proprietary advanced skin-safe technology to protect your delicate parts and holes. Both are waterproof so you can keep scaping even as the weather's change. In addition to shaving, you can now completely upgrade your shower routine with the Ultra Premium Body Wash and Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo plus Conditioner. You'll have your skin and hair feeling hydrated and smelling fresh. Don't forget to apply their aluminum-free ultra premium deodorant, and don't worry, it's not pumpkin spice, it's a cologne quality fragrance. But we shouldn't have a signature scent for our pets. Use Crop Preserver, Ball Deodorant, and Crop Reviver, Ball Toner to make sure your go-to smell is top shelf and not sweaty balls. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts for their Platinum Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and Shed Travel Bag, both specifically made to hold your goodies. Get the Platinum Package this fall. These products are guaranteed to be hits for your dangly bits. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com when you use the code RuffTalkVR. Manscaped, clear out the leaves. It's your tree trunk's time to shine. Today's episode is sponsored by True Classic. Guys, let's get real for a second. Your significant other will be way less upset about your gaming streak if you're looking fine as hell while you play. Finding that perfect fitting t-shirt can be a terrible experience. The thing is either way too tight, has a case of bacon neck, or is just plain big and boxy. Luckily, True Classic makes quality clothing for every guy. Whether you're on VR, PC, Xbox, PS5, or yes, even a Wii, they've made finding that perfect fit easy with their formula. A closer fit in the arms and chest to show off your muscles. We know you're getting a workout while gaming. Let those toned arms shine. Plus, they leave wiggle room in the torso to keep things cozy. All of their styles are super soft, and it's a great price for what you're getting. So guys, no excuses. Don't be a noob. Get rid of those ratty t-shirts I know that you've been hanging on to for years and get ready to upgrade. We have an exclusive deal for our listeners. We want to hook you up with some True Classic. For a limited time only, get 20% off with the code RuffTalkVR at trueclassic.com. Almost all men's t-shirts are designed to look good on a certain body type. Think skinny models with six-packs or Dscruffles over here. But most of us aren't packing anything but a few beers, and there's nothing wrong with that. My dudes, it's simple. You are wearing the wrong clothes. True Classics tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. You can throw on that True Classic with confidence, knowing they've got your bases covered. True Classic is much more than just a t-shirt company. They have all the menswear staples you could need, from polos and workout shirts with the same flattering fit to boxer briefs that'll keep your boys feeling nice and comfortable. And for any of the big boys out there, they have tall sizing and up to XXL on all their staple colors. True Classic will make you feel your best by accentuating the places the eye goes to first. Wink, wink. Whether you have abs or a delicious, soft, creamy center, Their clothes look great on all body types. Skinny guys, big guys, buff guys, gaming guys, True Classic has you covered. Get comfortable, get going, and upgrade your wardrobe with True Classic. Get 25% off at trueclassic.com with the code word Ruff Talk VR. Free shipping included on purchases over $100. 100% risk-free guarantee with a 30-day return policy. True Classic. When you look good, you feel good.
And we're back. Man, that is a good juice today. It's very sour, but I like sour.
Makes me pucker.
All
Makes
right.
my face pucker.
I believe last week I went first, correct?
For Iron Man.
For Iron Man VR. So I will have to pass this for you,
All right,
to you to
Tony
go
Stark.
first. Yep. So we have our 5.
I'm still in Iron Man mode.
right.
Dude, I love flying around like that. I wish I had that suit in real life.
Right.
Crazy. Okay. So we fully disclosed what it is and what it isn't,
Mm-hmm.
and the experience that it is. So I'll review it accordingly. Had he said this was a game in his description,
Oh, it would have changed everything.
a lot of my score would be different.
But they're very clear with what it is. That
Correct.
That's
Correct.
an important part.
Correct. And our rating system will reward him as such. Gameplay, I was on the cusp of a 15. I'm actually going to give him a 20 only because it legitimately is everything it's supposed to be. I actually think it's better than the flat screen version just because you have the pick tool there with a long stick with the little grabber. What I think is you can just touch it in the shit. The only difference I really found was in the flat screen. If you go near the building, it like highlights a section of it, so you'll know for sure whether you're on the side or the roof. But because you're in VR and you're that right there, it's not real hard to just figure out the side or the roof. So I give him a 20. I think he delivered on what he's given to all the other platforms, but now is giving us the ability to do it in a VR environment. Aesthetics, not bad graphics for what it is, especially if you zoom in and look at the detail, like at the patios, and it kind of has you wanting like more little of those little experiences that seem pretty rewarding for some reason. But I give him a 15. It's not 20 graphics. If there was a lot more going on, he potentially could get to that 20 if there was like literally like a whole city other than just the ones that are kind of, I'll say, linear that you're building. Functionality, I had no glitches. I mean, I don't know what could glitch. It's even download size. It's not a huge game. You're not taking up even a gig. But I give him a 20. Replayability, I'm sadly going to have to do a 10. You know, some of that's personal because out of fairness, I have to review it like I'm playing it. So for me, it's going to be a 10. I'm not going to go to it every day. Probably won't go to it every week. But when I do see it there and I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, it's probably going to be more one of those. Out of fairness, though, it's always in my like top 4 or 5 on my Xbox if I'm tired and just want to relax. So it still gets play there. But a 10. Value for money, I was going to go at 20 because come on, $10. Really, it's like legit less than 3 cups of coffee. But the fact that it is cheaper on like almost every platform to some degree, it's like, yeah, okay, fair enough. But I will give a 15. Not, I guess I'll harp about the $4.99 or whatever. But overall an 80 for what it is. And, as someone who's probably not the world's greatest fan of this genre, it was nice to review it with an open mind, I'll say.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect going into it because I didn't play it prior on the consoles.
That's why I was so excited, though, because I'm like, I got to know how this turned out for VR.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And, good points on your score as well. I think it's going to be mostly similar. I think that there's like very small deviation, but let's see. So going with gameplay, I completely get why you gave a 20, and you almost convinced me. I'm going to stick with my 15 on gameplay. I think that there's a couple things missing that, yes, might turn it into a game. But as somebody who doesn't have prior experience with the other ones, I'm not like, seeing just how, accurate it was to the other versions, I just think the gameplay would have been more fun with like, people hopping in, being able to actually like share your cities into like a public library or domain or something like that would be really cool. Um, it just felt like a little was missing from making it a 20, but it is a great concept, especially because they do everything that they advertise. So I completely get why you give them a 20. I'm not going to say like, oh, you're being a little too generous. No, it makes sense. They're doing everything that they're advertising. But I'm going to go with 15 on gameplay. Aesthetics, I almost gave them a 20. Would you believe that? I'm going to go with a 15 on aesthetics as well. But, they did a great job. The graphics, like you said, surprisingly good. Not 20 out of 20 graphics, but they're actually surprisingly good. What almost pushed me to give them a 20 was like the entire ambiance of it all. Like it's got a very meditative, relaxing feel to it. The environment that you're building on, just everything about it. It almost pushed me to give a 20. But yeah, 15 on aesthetics as well. Like I said, I was going into it. If you look at like, I guess the main cover of it and the artwork style that's on the page, I would have guessed I would have given them a 10 on aesthetics. And it's funny, I almost gave them a 20. It's funny how that actually goes. Functionality, I'm going to give them a 20. No glitches, no issues there. Huge props to Oscar. I don't know if this is his first time working in VR, but he did a clean, successful, very good port. That was good. No glitches or bugs there. Replayability, I actually have to agree with you. Perfect. It's a 10 for me on replayability. It's a enjoyable experience. It's not like it was bad and I'm like, oh, this game sucks, I'll never pick it up again. It's probably not going to be on my top list of recently played apps, but every once in a while, maybe you go to bed, I still have 15 minutes left of playing, maybe I'll do this right before bed because it's a great relaxation game. So I don't think I'll never play it again. I just don't think it's going to be one of my top played. There's not much to bring me back, whereas if you could share your cities, go walk around them, whatever. I think it would have much more replayability. So 10 on replayability. And then value, I'm going to give them a 15 as well. I think that this game would be a steal at $5.99, $6.99, $7.99. At $9.99, it's still a great price. That's why it's getting 15 out of 20. But I don't know, just seeing how much cheaper it is on the other platforms. I know that's kind of weird, but it's double the cost, in VR. Yeah, I don't know. It's not a bad price. It's definitely worth the price. Like I said, 15 out of 20. That's not a bad score. But I don't know. Some $7.99 would have felt better. You know what I mean? I know that sounds silly, but it is what it is. So 15, 15, 15. I'm sorry, 15, 15, 20, 10, 15. I'm giving them a 75. So 75 and 80.
It's not bad.
I think the only difference is you gave 5 higher on gameplay.
Correct.
Than me.
I have a theory on why it costs a little more.
New skill?
No. This is actually from a business standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
How likely are you to play something in VR and see it on flat screen and buy it versus
the opposite?
I played it on flat screen. Now it's on VR.
That's actually
so.
Really
if your first time playing something's in VR, you're probably not going to go backwards with it. In my opinion, going from VR to flat screen is a backward momentum in gaming experience. So it's a one and done. Versus the Xbox or Sony or whatever who's played it.
See, and
they're more likely to go, well, shit, I actually didn't have a bad time playing it on flat screen, even if it's been a while. They're gonna go, oh, shit, it's only $10. Totally forget what you paid for it.
And I just looked on the iOS on the App Store; it's $5 as well, because there was gonna be part of me that was gonna go, well, maybe it's because Meta takes 30%.
I'm not gonna play it in VR to go buy the.
No, but you would do the opposite. If you had it on your phone, then you would. And you enjoyed it, you would go play it. You'd go buy it in VR.
So from a financial standpoint, it would actually make sense then that you have to charge a little more for VR because you're less likely to get people to carry over versus the other way.
There was part of me that was going to guess that it's because, Meta takes 30%, but Apple takes 30%. So it can't be that because it would be priced. If that was the issue, then it would be $10 on Apple as well, So no, I think you're right. I think you're right. It's because
That's my guess, and I'm sticking to it.
oh, that's a good guess.
That'd be my mentality. If I was in that same position, I'd be like, oh shit.
I have a feeling he'd be a fun one to talk to.
Yeah, reach out.
Yeah.
Because again, I'd love to know what there's always a backstory to why people make games. Sometimes it's because people
Did
saw an
only you just
opportunity.
work on this?
Yeah.
And props to him that he's gotten this one concept.
Dude, very few people.
And carried it to so many platforms successfully.
Every platform from Nintendo to Xbox to the friggin' iPhone.
It's got a 4.6 as well on Apple, but it's an editor's choice on the iOS.
Again, it's like, how can you shit on something that causes no harm?
It's a little relaxation.
Does nothing but really
app, it's
technically
cool.
makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't, even if it's not your thing, you have to, if you look at it for what it is, you go, well, shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my thing, but I can't argue that it does what it's supposed to do. And again, like when you zoom in and look at.
No, it's the graphics are surprisingly good. Much better than I thought they were going to be based off the score page.
Yeah.
And like you see the background, if anybody's watching a video, like the background behind us, you look at that, you're going to go, how are the graphics 15? But you go in, you'll see it. Yeah.
Especially when you zoom in.
Why they almost got a 20 out of me, like I said, is because that whole relaxing ambiance of it all. You get relaxed playing it. You get into the.
It definitely works. Like I get into the characters, but I got my little peeps.
So, anything you want to say before we wrap this baby up for this week?
No, this was a fun one to do because it's not a quote unquote game. It's not a movie.
It's an app.
This
is an experience.
I don't think we've done anything like this before.
No, it's its own little thing.
The first of its kind.
So,
but thank you, Oscar, and thank you, Townscaper. So.
And I will say, full disclosure, we're saying thank you. We're saying thank you for making a great game. We paid for this one as well. It's not like we got this game free and we're giving it.
If that's the case, I would have said thank you for giving it to us.
Yeah,
Oscar.
no, we paid for this one out of pocket.
We didn't reach out. Nothing.
Nope.
This was all on us. We wanted to do this one.
Mm-hmm.
And again, because it's like there's very few that come from platform to VR, let alone one that's come from every single platform and chose not to ignore VR.
Which is cool to see. So,
guys, I got to give credit, dude.
Yeah.
Again, it's like my mind is just blown that somebody's got their shit on everything.
You know what this is? This is a genre on the Quest checked. It's like for people who like this type of casual game that wasn't there for them before. Check.
No penalties. No,
check.
Make a mistake.
No progression.
You can undo it.
No purpose. Just do what you want to do.
Doesn't
Whatever you want to build, you can build.
Yeah.
There's no right. There's no wrong. There's no good. There's no bad. It's whatever you like.
There's no right. There's no wrong.
It's cool. Yeah,
Sounds like a good song.
But so yeah, like I always say, if you like the episode, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Like I said before, go join that Discord, that subreddit. And if you didn't listen to this past Monday's episode with our nominees, that was a fun time. Stay tuned for next week where we actually have the winners. And if you have any thoughts on who you think should win, not saying you're going to influence things, but go into our Discord, give us your thoughts on
Bags of cash won't influence these decisions.
No, our opinions are honest.
These are locked in our heads.
Yeah, we got some. we have debating to do before our next episode, though. So,
but no, if somebody heard it and wants to chime in, or if they
you have some thoughts.
They feel like we truthfully neglected somebody, then please let us know. Because like you had said on Monday, if we have to hold back another week, then we will.
I was jokingly saying like if we delay it, if we don't do our award episode next week, it's because we could not come to a conclusion. But it will happen.
If somebody brings something to the table, though.
Yeah, I'm open to having another nominee. If we miss somebody from the category, why not? We're human. We make mistakes. Say it all the time.
Every episode.
Not every episode. But
love getting emails from devs when you make such a blatant dumb mistake too.
Well, here's the thing. If we make a mistake, we'll own up to it. We always, that's the thing. So
you got to be able to laugh at yourself too.
Again, we're human. That happens. So yeah, if you feel like we missed anybody or you have any thoughts on that, go into the episode discussion section of our Discord and let us know. Other than that, see you Monday.
Take care.
Ciao, ciao.